once again, holding 2 slots on the NASCAR calendar, the Atlanta Motor Speedway, one of the unique mile and a halves around, hosted 2 events a season from 1960 to 2010 and is back at it twice again this year. A summertime date means that tonight, virtual Hotlanta is hosting round 18 of 33 of the MSRA National Series, and coverage is coming at you live on PitStop TV. Welcome and thank you for tuning in and joining us for tonight's action here in virtual Hampton, Georgia. Cole Freilich and Corey Rex are alongside me this evening, and we're ready for the Midwest Sim Racing Association's National Series to wrestle their NASCAR Xfinity Series-styled vehicles around the challenging quad oval. Cole, glad to have you here this evening, and we know the amount of time you've had on the sim. What goes through your mind when you load up to this beast?
The first thing I always think of is don't just eat it off of turn 2, because the car is very slick at this track already, and you factor in the hot temperatures as you look at your track map there. Soon to be a 28-degree banking at this speedway actually after this weekend, so that's going to be interesting. And yeah, those 24-degree banked corners here at Atlanta make it the fastest speedway out of the mile and a half, and it also makes it the most treacherous because this surface is highly worn out. You factor in the 100-degree track temp that drivers will have to factor in tonight, and it's going to be a very interesting race.
Absolutely. And you mentioned, again, the reconfigure that's coming to the Speedway. Very, very excited to see what kind of racing that brings. We have, of course, the next generation of the Cup Series cars, and, of course, the returning series of Xfinity and trucks. But tonight, we get to live once again in the glory of the very, very old, and I guess old is the wrong connotation, but the characterized asphalt here at the Atlanta Motor Speedway again. It's going to be a blast tonight with tire conservation and the different kind of lines you can run. Speaking of lines, let's take a look at the point standings coming into tonight's event. And Evan Longacre increased his point lead last time out at Road America after David Santini had a rough go up in Elkhart Lake. David Santini, with his 5 wins on the season, looks to once again close on Evan Longacre to try to gain the points lead here at into the second half of the season. Jeffrey Meyer there in third. Cole Hooper with a win to his name, and he is 61 points back of point leader Evan Longacre. He sat in fourth. And Kenny Meadows at the top 5, 100 points back. TJ Crampton, 158 back. He's got 3 wins on the season though. Definitely capable of moving his way up the point standings. Kyle Mollering there in 7th, Matthew Van Gelder 8th, Timothy Davis in 9th, and Chris Hansen there in the 10th position, 253 points back. But Cole, if you look at the second half of the standings here, or second half of the page here, you can see, of course, that cut line and the battle there, and then a lot of names out there that have shown a lot of speed here in practice.
Yeah, one of those names outside the cut line right now is Julio Villalobos Jr. He's currently second with a lap time of 30.948. You see him in 17th with 546 points back of our current points leader, Evan Longacre. But he's just about 100, well, a little more than that, I guess, about 200 points behind the cut line.
Yeah, absolutely. And that cut line, the gap right now is pretty substantial there for Love, but we'll see if he can hold on to that as the second half of the season wears on. Of course, tonight we have Atlanta, and the next time out there at New Hampshire, and then there's a couple weeks off that could, definitely put a break in some good momentum for some drivers, or give a break for some drivers that are having a rough go right now. But anyway, we're here at the virtual Atlanta Motor Speedway, and it's a great night to be here. We're going to step aside real quick. We'll be right back with the race coverage on the far side of this break.
Found yourself trying to hide your joy because you're unhappy with your teeth? Your smile is the first feature noticed in an interview, on a date, or in family photos. We want you to be able to shine bright as your best self, and our teeth whitening system is the perfect step toward restoring your confidence.
Sound art is a product that is a speaker and it's art. We combine it together and we call it sound art. What makes it so unique that any picture can be your speaker? Sound art gives you the high quality sound without the ugly speaker. This isn't a picture with a speaker, the picture is the speaker. Just imagine your wedding picture uploaded onto a canvas and now it's speaking 10,000 tunes. I mean, it's a very cool concept. What we like so much about it that you can take anything that means something very special to you, upload it on the canvas, have it hanging up in your room, your balcony, wherever you want to put it, and now it's a speaker. I mean, how cool is that? It's something that we have that and no one has. No one has this product. It's just a great gift to give anybody. It's just a neat concept. Around here we say, art never sounded so good.
After months of quarantine, we're all interested in how we can become our best self. The team at Permanent Makeup and Cryo is here to help you get the flawless makeup look every day without the extra effort or time. When it comes to your appearance, you deserve the best care that money can buy.
SoundArt introduces an entirely new way to listen to music in your home. By combining the best of two products, a revolutionary high-fidelity, low-profile Bluetooth wireless speaker with beautiful artwork. Select from a library of artwork or upload your own photos to personalize your experience. SoundArt ushers in an era of invisible, beautiful, and amazing sound throughout your home and redefines your entire entertainment system. The need to reclaim your floor space and rid your home of unsightly speaker boxes that need to be bolted to the wall is now a thing of the past. Our canvas is printed on high-quality permalite by Breathing Color. And select from our gallery or upload your own. Standard sizes include 16 by 20 and 18 by 24 canvas wrapped. Custom sizing is available, as well as surround sound options.
Welcome, race fans, back to the virtual Atlanta Motor Speedway here in Hampton, Georgia, and we are now into the final 5 minutes of practice, final 4 minutes of practice, and again, this MSRA National Series. We saw him last time out, last Friday at Road America, and Vincent Arthur had the wild race. He started on pole, spun in turn 1, and then drove his way through the field, and that was the MSRA National Series debut on the channel, and I cannot believe the show we had at that great American road racing circuit. It was a phenomenal show. And of course, with that being said, I want to give a shout out to the series partners here at the MSRA National Series. Like tonight, we have Rapid Fired Pizza. They offer amazingly good, amazingly fast, fresh made pizza. And it's what they can do in 180 seconds. You can try one of their craft pizzas, or you can choose from over 35 fresh toppings and a dozen different sauces to create your own masterpiece. You can visit their rapid fire pizzas. You can visit your own rapid fire pizza in the states of Indiana, Kentucky, North Carolina, Ohio, South Carolina, Texas, and West Virginia. Check out their website at rapidfiredpizza.com. Old School Ninjas is a gaming organization that focuses on building a community with close friends. We welcome new individuals to the group with a red carpet and a seat at the round table. Feel free to check out our Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Discord. We await your arrival. And Shorba's Racing Graphics offers great services at affordable prices. SRG does work with iRacing paints, logos, numbers, and even t-shirts, and $5 from each sale are donated to the MSRA for their end of the season prizes as a way of giving back to the community. Visit Shorba's Racing Graphics on Facebook to find out more. And of course, I want to shout out our partners here at PitStop TV, of course, like Tucson Sound Art. Your picture, your music. You provide the image that you want, and they will custom create a beautifully framed, high-quality canvas with a built-in Bluetooth speaker. And with Sound Art, you get the best of both worlds. Visit TucsonSoundArt.com for additional info and use promo code PitStop TV at checkout and receive 10% off of your purchase. Ever wish you could have a race engineer on speed dial? Well, now you can, thanks to RacePace, a driver development service and setup shop all in one. Work with Tyler, a real-world race engineer, to step up your game before your next race. Pick up pace with RacePace. When it comes to your appearance, you deserve the best care that money can buy. In locations in Auburn, Lewiston, Naples, and Saco, Maine, Permanent Makeup and Cryo in Maine owner Ashley Boyer is a certified micropigmentation specialist who provides professional, safe, and personalized services. Contact Permanent Makeup and Cryo in Maine at permanentmakeupinmaine.com, or you can call or text them at 207-358-8683. And Whiplash Media specializes in various sim racing resources, including paint schemes, stream overlays, iRacing camera packs, and more. The official graphic and camera provider of PitStop TV, where you can grab your iBroadcast cameras today at www.pitstoptv.com. And of course, BAM Racing Videos, by a race fan for the racing community. And Cole, you had mentioned in the intro the weather, the track temp that these drivers are dealing with. 115 degrees, the track temp. It's not the hottest we've seen, but that's pretty hot, especially with the air temp being about 84.5 degrees Fahrenheit. And 115 degrees track temp, that is not going to help these drivers out with their tire conservation. That being said, do you want to really qualify up front and be kind of forced to race hard early? Or do you maybe want to be at the back, take it easy, and then pick off drivers one by one?
Well, that's the thing about Atlanta. I think track position is going to be really key here into qualifying. Got about 5 seconds left before we get cars rolling here, but I think the key here at Atlanta is really to qualify up front, because with 136 laps, I think a lot of guys are just going to take it easy for the first part, but you will not see anybody really push it till later in the race. So when they start pushing later in the race, we're going to start seeing cars just go away because their right fronts just can't handle first the surface and two the track temp right now. And gonna get a few cars on the speedway here. I don't see anybody that has rolled off yet. There's the number 61 TJ Crampton, first car on the racetrack. Elderbrock Toyota Supra gonna be coming down the back straightaway here. And really the key to Atlanta is just go fast and hold on for dear life when it comes to qualifying. In the race you can kind of pace yourself, but if you really want to get a good lap time here, you're gonna basically be having to hang on to the car to accomplish that.
Absolutely, and we'll watch TJ Crampton as he gets up to speed. You'll watch him work that high side here, and that is oh so important, so you can carry all the speed you can going into these corners. And again, you can carry a lot of speed on the entry, but it then comes to, do you really want to? In the race, you're definitely going to be weighing your options. The qualifying, of course, push as hard as you can. Try not to scrub as much speed as you can to center a corner, and then really ride it on exit, and then go for the joyride that is the back straightaway, especially on old tires, and then into turn 3, a very sketchy entry. Look at him work his way down to the bottom side there, all over the white line. Call it Harvicking, because Kevin Harvick is known for running that bottom line there, especially in the cup races. And TJ Crampton, his time will be the first time set, of course. It'll be a 31.316. And top of the charts, of course, is the only time set.
Yeah, and you could really tell from TJ there, he was fighting the wheel, and it's going to hold on for right now because Evan Longacre just went to P2 on the board with a 31.398. Timothy Davis is third with a 31.435, with Chuck Waldrop in fourth with a 31. Oh, new quick time there. That's David's Centini, and Kenny Meadows now goes quick time. So a lot of these guys, Kenny Meadows, what a lap that is. Nearly 2/10 faster than the entire field, but a lot of these guys were fighting the car. You saw TJ Crampton, he was really up on that wheel. It looked like me trying to drive a sprint car at Kokomo with how much he was fighting that wheel. But see Kyle Mullering, John Gifford on the track as well. But Kenny Meadows, what a lap time that was.
Absolutely, Kenny Meadows out of nowhere. Kyle Mullering as well, kind of topping David Santini and Matt White as well. A little bit of a flash here in qualifying. A lot of times going to the top of the charts we weren't expecting because of the practice times maybe, but these drivers have really showed up with their hot lap pace. We're watching it on board with John Gifford out of turn number 4, right up against the inside grass there through the quad oval. Gifford, and his first time we'll put him fourth quick, is into the top 5 for the 81.
Yeah, and thing to be noted is one and only one lap for qualifying. And you can see a few more times coming in. Sean Giroux is currently the last car to qualify so far with an 11th place run of 31.939. You got Chandler Hayden that is qualified. On the track now is Julio Villalobos. Wow, that's going to be a hard name for me, Emerson, but I know you got it down because I was watching the truck race a few nights ago. And yeah, Julio, he was second on the charts, so it's going to be interesting what he can do here in qualifying.
Yeah, Julio Villalobos, he's absolutely been tearing up the hot lap sheet in the truck series and looking to try to make some runs out of it. He had a rough night yesterday at Knoxville. Had a lot of pace, but just could not find his way to avoid the trouble. And here he goes here, trying to put himself out of harm's way with a good qualifying time. We saw him second in practice as he works his way along the bottom side through 1 and 2. Whoa, he's going to get loose, and oh no, that's going to destroy the qualifying lap, but he's kept his foot in it.
Hey, you got to get all you can get, and that was the thing I mentioned in the pre-race. Loose again through turn 3. That car is just dancing, and it's dancing off of 4. Oh, well, we got the wall, so that's not going to be counted because if you get an incident on your qualifying lap, iRacing does not count the Q lap. So, unfortunately for Julio, he will have to start towards the rear of the field, but that was a piece of driving if I've ever seen one.
That was a wild ride, and it looked like the way he was driving yesterday at Knoxville, hanging on for dear life. We go right here in car with John Binder in the number 83, and we'll see how he works his way around the Atlanta Quad Oval. Down the back straightaway here, getting up to upwards of 180, nearly 190 miles per hour. Sometimes at the end of these straights, it'll be actually way shorter than that, 183 into the turn on the far end of the speedway. And coming off of turn number 4, there's that pit entry, by the way. That's going to be a rough one. I expect these drivers to get green flag pit stops, but that is a tough pit entry.
Yeah, and you were talking about going 180 into turn 3. Atlanta's always been known as one of the fastest tracks, as we're going to go straight to the race here. So, Matt, let me check that real quick. I'm still new to the series, so I'm still learning some names. But, yeah, Matt White going to go to your pole with a blistering lap time of 31.014. And I think this is going to be an interesting race, Emerson.
Absolutely. Let's go through our starting lineup before we get too far into things. And, of course, on the front row, as you said, Matt White in that number 48 has qualified on the pole position. He'll bring alongside of him the 96 of Cody Meadows. Row number 2, we're going to find the 44 of Kyle Mollering and the 81 of John Gifford. Row number 3, we're going to find David Santini and TJ Crampton. Row 4, it'll be Evan Longacre and Timothy Davis. And row number 5, we will find Chuck Waldrop and John Binder.
And starting in row 6, you're going to see Chandler Hayden to the inside, and to his outside is Sean Giroux, who was the last car of the ones that qualified. Then Jeffrey Myers is going to be on the inside of row 7 with Alan Dobbs to his outside. Starting 15th tonight, what a good number that is. It's going to be the 16 of Matthew Gelder. Apologies there. And 16th will be Julio Villalobos. Starting in 17th is Matt Dyer in the 2 car. And starting 18th will be Chris Hansen. And rounding out your field tonight will be Richard Clement in the number 4 car. Starting 19th at the very back of the field. He's got a long way to go here at Atlanta. But hey, you conserve those tires, you might can gain some spots under green flag conditions.
Absolutely, and if it's just tires only, I don't expect these drivers to actually pit in the stages, which, speaking of stages, I guess it's time to mention that there are 3 stages tonight in tonight's 136th lap affair. We have stage breaks at the completion of lap 35 and the completion of lap 70 that these drivers are about to embark on. So 35 laps, it's a long time on tires, but I don't think that's going to warrant a pit stop on tires. It'll be interesting to see what these drivers decide to do. I think you can really leg it out that many laps, but you might be struggling if you push really early. Watch for some of these front runners who maybe get really aggressive to try to find their rhythm early and find what spot they're going to run in to potentially fade back about 20 laps in.
Yeah, and I would closely resemble the surface of this track to much like Dover. So if I'm one of these guys, I think after every stage break, I'm going to take tires because this track can be so hard on tires. It's just like Dover in that aspect. Not in any way how it drives, but in the way how harsh it is on tires. I think if these guys try to stretch it further than those stages, it's going to be really rough on them. And really, if we get a yellow maybe 20 laps in, I would go in and take tires because That's just what you have to do here to keep pace, because if you pit like, well, wow, I am not able to speak tonight, but if you don't pit, it's just going to hurt you in the long run, and it'll kill your track position. And that is a key factor going into this race, especially when you got sort of a sprint race with 136 laps.
Absolutely. And of course, it is driver of the number 48, Matt White, on pole for tonight's 33rd Brigade Gaming Community 204 from the Atlanta Motor Speedway. Of course, the 33rd Brigade Gaming Community coming on board to help get this race going and get this race underway, as well as to await VIRacing.com safety car to find its safety in the pit lane. And we are green flag from Atlanta. We had a car spinning off in the grass early. I believe that was one of the front starters. Kyle Mollering goes around early.
Yeah, tough break for Kyle there, but the field now comes through turn 2 and on to the back stretch with Matt White gaining a considerable lead already. That's kind of impressive that he's pulled out that far just in one corner, but you got to think some of these guys may be trying to go easy on their tires, but Kenny Meadows and David Santini are not going easy on their tires. As Matt White now way up the racetrack. This is a 3-car affair for the lead.
Ultra loose was the 48 of Matt White. Here comes Santini looking for the top spot.
3 wide now through turn 2. That's going to be very sketchy this early into the race. Santini almost thought about sliding up but couldn't get it done. Matt White was still to his outside. Matt White going to try to retake his lead going into turn 3. And look at Kenny Meadows. He's just lurking at this point.
Well, last time through 3 and 4, we saw how loose Matt White got, and that was the first time he took a corner at race pace, really, and it was on relatively cold tires. TJ Crampton goes fastest as he's in the 4th position right now. We look at Kenny Meadows trying to take away 2nd position from 2nd place in points. David Santini, and Santini sideways out of turn number 2.
And we're going to see that all night. A lot of cars getting loose. The track temp now is at 113 degrees, so it's cooled off a little bit from when we looked at it, but it is still very hot for being in the southern part of the United States. That's a very hot temperature and a very hot track. But look at Kenny Meadows. He's kind of been ripping the top lane, I've been noticing, but now, we got a little loose there because him and Matt White both checked up. That's going to give the run to David Santini, and here comes TJ Crampton to follow suit.
David Santini now looking to try to reclaim the 2nd position, but again, I don't necessarily agree with pushing this hard this early. You hear David Santini, you have 5 wins on the season. He has 5 wins on the season. I mean, and I'm in the booth, so what do I know? But at the same time, I think I'd be really working on preserving tires and maybe looking to making a late stage run here, around the lap 30 mark.
Well, considering I'm probably the worst guy on conserving tires in Newark, I can offer a little bit of insight into how you can burn up that equipment so fast. I mean, a lot of the guys, you see it in the Newark iRacing series that we cover on Tuesday nights, they run the top line for the early part of the race, and I've kind of picked up on that a little bit myself. So running that bottom really can hurt your tires, especially at a track like this. So that's why you see Kenny Meadows and Matt White kind of running the top line right now, just to conserve their equipment for these first few laps.
And then not only that, I mean, we've been, all on the dirt train recently, but at some point, I mean, especially if you nail that outside lane, if you nail the outside, it's almost faster and almost the preferred line at some points to just get a longer straightaway if you will carry more speed down the straightaway.
Yeah, the outside line definitely can't help, and that's definitely a thing that's prevalent in dirt racing. Such thing is called the hard line if you run right up against the wall on dirt. We saw those guys in the truck series last night doing that at Knoxville. That was an entertaining race to watch here on the channel, but if you haven't, go check that out. And we're going to look back here further in the field. You see the 22 of Alan Dobbs to the outside of Matthew Gelder, and that's a 4-car battle for position. I believe that is the 10th spot they're all battling for.
Absolutely, and it's an interesting battle that's been going on. They've been trading spots a lot very early in this Atlanta race. Evan Longacre, of course, the point leader in this series. Alan Dobbs, the MSRA Truck Series presented by VFW, point leader there in 11th. A very intriguing battle, if you will. And they race also in the Truck Series. Longacre, a top 10 driver most weeks in that Truck Series, and Alan Dobbs, of course, lighting it up most weeks with the most wins in that season, and really had one of the fastest trucks. Just was absolutely outclassed yesterday. He ended up coming home in third after a late race restart, but Alan Dobbs looking to make a little bit more hay in this national series.
Yeah, Alan Dobbs currently 11th. He's right in front of the number 2 car, Matt Dyer. And it looks like that's kind of gotten spread out now. As you see right ahead of this, Jeffrey Meyer is actually under fire from Julio Villalobos Jr. We saw Julio have that wild qualifying run. Julio going way to the top. That's almost the hot line on asphalt. So I don't know if he's going to get much off the corner from that, but hey, it's worth a shot trying this early in the race, right?
Absolutely. And you know, if you try something and it doesn't necessarily work out and maybe you shred your stuff this early, you do have, of course, 2 scheduled cautions in this race to maybe kind of reset and give yourself that second chance, maybe in that second stage. We'll see here. I don't know. Again, I've been a fan of Julio Villalobos and how aggressive he's been on the track. I don't know about Viz, though, at Atlanta. I think he might want to back it down a little bit, but he's been charging through the field. Anyway, we're working lap 10 of 136. We'll see where he ends up at the end of the stage.
Yeah, he's up to 9th place, and he started, I believe, in the 16th spot. So a nice gain so far. That's about 7 spots on the racetrack. Up front, though, it is still Matt White leading. And now TJ Crampton's actually taking the 3rd spot away from David Santini.
You know what? Santini is still committed to that bottom side, and that could be destroying the right front tire, while TJ Crampton, we saw him go fastest on lap number 2, and then since then, I believe he's just continued his run in that middle lane. He's actually closing up on Kenny Meadows as well. TJ Crampton might have something to say before this stage is over.
Yeah, I think TJ's been kind of running conservative. As you saw, the top 3, they really, really battled hard to start this race, so maybe TJ's got something figured out that we don't. But I think he really just conserved his tires there, and now he's able to go for it towards about the halfway point of this stage.
Yeah, halfway in this stage, it'll be about 17 or 18, I guess, in the 35-lap stage. And look to the outside. Here comes TJ Crampton around the outside of Kenny Meadows. Meadows charging hard up the inside, but it's just going to be that outside lane prevailing. It's a longer straightaway. He can get on the gas earlier, and TJ Crampton with the advantage and clears into the 2nd position. TJ Crampton, who started 6th, is on an early race charge.
Yeah, TJ making quick work of both Kenny Meadows and David Santini. And now going to set his sights on Matt White, and it's going to be interesting how fast he actually charges to get to that number 48, because if you charge too hard, you're going to burn up your stuff, and if you don't charge enough, he's just going to scoot away.
Absolutely. It is all about, I guess, a game of how much you want to push. You have to time where you push. You know, you still have over 20 laps left in the stage, but again, it's only 20 more laps. It's a difficult balance. It really is, and then being that this is Atlanta, it does not make it easier by any means. And he's pulled a 10th in that last lap. He literally pulled a 10th faster on race leader Matt White. So TJ Crampton, I think he's electing to push right now and try to see if he can hold on later.
Yeah, this is really the only massive battle we have on track. I actually saw Evan Longacre starting to overtake Julio Villalobos. I know you've got that name down. It'll be a process for me, but Evan Longacre now to, I believe, what is the 8th spot on the track. So Evan's starting to make a charge through the field towards the later part of the stage. Now going to set his sight on Jeffrey Meyer, who's right behind John Gifford for the 6th position.
Santini and Meadows are going at it. I believe Santini had a look on Meadows, but Meadows holds on to the 3rd position for now, and it's so hard to overtake here. If you can hold that middle to high side, even on old tires, it's really hard to get overtaken. It has to be a massive difference in tires, I think, for a suitable overtake to happen on entry. You're really setting yourself up for a great run on the exit to make a real overtake happen.
Yeah, and some guys we see race in different series may just try to throw it in there, try a slide job. But Atlanta, that's really not a track you can try, but we have a battle for the lead now. TJ Crampton to the inside of Matt White going into turn 3. Don't think he'll get it this lap, but he is there. Might come just oh, so close to being right on the corner panel. You ride on board with the number 61 there. Might try to switch it up here in turn one. Let's see where he goes. He's going to stay in the middle of the track. Going to get a little bit better of a run. Still can't get it done yet, but he's going to pull to the door on the outside of the corner.
Well, Matt White got really wide there in one, but it extended the straightaway, and Matt White will clear back to the race lead for now, with TJ Crampton hot on his rear end and trying to find his way around. And I think this is it. I think Crampton knows he's faster than Matt White, but this is going to be a display of how you overtake in Atlanta. And he got a great run out of 4. He's going to send it down here into 1 as if it was a slider. Again, right back to the dirt stuff. TJ Crampton down on the bottom side. He might have to wear his stuff out a little bit if he's going to get this pass completed. Still side by side down the back.
And TJ Crampton still can't get it done. He wasn't able to pull to the door that time. That was a little bit surprising because TJ kind of wrapped the bottom ideally how you'd want to, but just could not get it done. Looks like his car's working a little bit better in the middle. I'm going to get another run here in the quad oval. Excuse me. He's going to look to the inside, but no, he tries the high side this time. Matt White all the way up the track, almost to the wall. And now let's see what TJ can do off the corner. Still going to pull to his door. No, actually. I thought the momentum would shift, but it did not. And Matt White is still your leader.
I think Crampton there, he was trying to follow him, try to get the run off the hill. And, oh, Matt White is slow through the center of the corner. Is Matt White pitting? No, TJ Crampton just powers right on by. Maybe Matt White got loose in the center of the corner, but new race leader, TJ Crampton.
Yeah, Matt White, he was dirt trekking that thing going into turn 3 because that car was all 10 kinds of sideways and did an incredible job of holding that thing straight, but that cost him a lot of time. As you see, TJ Crampton now just scooting away with the lead, and he's going to have that clean air, so he's going to be able to scoot away even more.
Clean air, of course, he's got a lapped vehicle up the road. That is the driver who spun on the initial start of the race, Kyle Mollering. And again, he started in 3rd, bottom side of the 2nd row, went around right off the initial start. He's currently in the 18th position, and he's no longer 19th because, well, Chandler Hayden had his wheel reset, and it froze his iRacing. He is now out of the session at the moment. He is 6 laps down. I don't know if he's going to make an attempt to get back into the session, but unfortunate circumstances for Chandler Hayden. Again, 6 laps down and counting.
Yeah, that's a weird issue to have, and we've seen some weird issues this year, but that's the first for me. I've never seen where the software for a wheel has caused a complete freeze of the iRacing software, so that's a new one for me personally. But I've seen just about every way you can possibly fall out of a race, and that's a tough one to swallow because that's something you just completely out of your control.
Yeah, absolutely. It's pretty much the same as a mechanical failure, if you will, in real life. That's the best analogy you can make for it anyway, but that is a very tough circumstance for Chandler Hayden. Hopefully he's able to get that figured out, but this race may as well be over for Chandler. I took an onboard here of Matt White because he was just leading. He's fallen all the way back to 5th, and what I said earlier was, you want to watch these front runners who potentially push early, who push really hard early, potentially fall back around lap 20, and that's exactly what's happened to Matt White. I hate that I caught it that perfectly for Matt White's case, but that's wild to me. But again, that's a product of Atlanta. He thought maybe he can get a good margin out, where even if he did shred his stuff, he'd only have about 10 laps to hang on, and he's now back in the 5th position. Maybe there's still some stage points up for grabs for Matt White, but again, that's just how quickly things change.
We are 11 laps to go till the end of this stage, and Matt White, I think what he was really doing is kind of testing the waters to see what he could do to his tires. Obviously did not work out because Evan Longacre, he's charging through the field, started 7th, did fall back a little bit, saw him about 11th position, but now back up to the 6th place, going to charge at Matt White for that 5th, and he's got a head of steam coming through the quad over here.
Here comes Evan Longacre. He's just going to power right on by. It is 5th place now for driver of the number 95 and point leader, Evan Longacre. At the moment, David Santini is 4 places up the road in the 2nd position. Well, 4 places from 5th anyway. So this is going to be a nod in the direction of Santini to close that point lead down to 13. It'll be interesting to see where that plays out at the end of the night. But of course, the lead battle in the points. Longager's just made more starts than Santini, even though Santini has dominated the season, if you will. He's won 5 times this season. Right now in the second position, 1.2 seconds back of race leader TJ Crampton. Santini playing it easy early here. And Alan Dobbs and Matt Dyer is around on the pit entry. Pit exit.
Oh, what has happened there? That's interesting. That has destroyed the front end of Matt Dyer's car. No fast repair, so that's going to put him out of this race, unfortunately, unless he can get some damage fixed. And maybe if Chandler can get back into the race, buddy, there's you a spot right there. Let's see, Matt Dyer coming through turn 4, going to be behind Alan Dobbs in that 22 car you see on your screen. Both kind of purple cars, purple and black, with some pink in there. Nice vibes. And Alan just loses it in the quad oval, and they both go for a slide. Matt Dyer going to hit right where the shrubbery is. And that has destroyed the front end of that Pit Viper machine.
Oh my goodness, what a hit. We're going to ride on board with Matt Dyer for that one and see all of that unfold. But it's interesting that both of these drivers were the 2 drivers that had got into our own Andrew Cardinale to 4 early in yesterday's Knoxville race. Both of them get together here on lap 27 at Atlanta the next day. And then, of course, Alan Dobbs loose and big contact there. And oh, what a hit for Matt Dyer.
Yeah, that was a tough hit. And the last time I think I've actually hit that wall in a video game or simulator was NASCAR 08. And that would make your car flip. So I think Matt Dyer actually came out pretty well out of that whole deal. But, yeah, that was a tough break for him. And maybe if Chandler can get back into the race with whatever software issue he had, he can get some spots there, because that's 12 laps you got to make up on Matt to get the 18th spot. But it's entirely possible at this point in the race.
We've got a battle back here for some stage points. The 8th position under attack that Chuck Waldrop currently holds. He's trying to fend off Jeffrey Meyer and Matthew Van Gelder. And this is going to come down to the wire, really, in this battle for points. Matthew Gelder there in the final spot of the top 10, and he's got about 7/10 to John Gifford, or 6.5 to John Gifford. But here we go for 8th, and is that Villalobos right ahead? Is now this a 4-car battle for 7th?
I believe Villalobos has actually scooted away a bit, because we need to give him an attaboy, because Julio has driven from the 16th position all the way up to 7th. That's a 9-spot gain. I had to do math in my head for a minute there, but 9 spots in the first 31 laps of this race. Attaboy to Julio, because that's an impressive drive anywhere, especially at Atlanta with how the tires are.
Absolutely. I thought he shredded his stuff, but I think he's played it perfectly. Here we go side by side in this battle for 8th.
Jeffrey Meyer on the outside, going to get the momentum there. Julio getting a little loose ahead of these guys, but Chuck Waldrop looking on the inside now. Matthew Gelder is going to go to the inside. Can't get anything there. You're on board with the number 16. Can't really, everybody's really running different lines if you look, you saw there on your screen, because I believe Julio was against the wall. Jeffrey was about a lane down, and Chuck was just about a half a car up from what Matthew was running, and now everybody goes to the top. Julio has company. Hello, Jeffrey Meyer on the back bumper, the number 50 Camaro, as they head off of turn 2. Can't get the run to really get the 7th spot, but he is definitely there.
I want to leave this battle for a quick second because things have tightened up for second. This is Timothy Davis on point leader, David Santini. We're coming around to 2 laps to go in stage number 1, and Santini is holding on for dear life.
Well, Chuck Waldrop actually just pounded the wall after that happened. I saw Julio Villalobos get in the wall, and Chuck Waldrop slammed it, but you now see the 2-car battle here up front on your screen. Timothy Davis, out of nowhere, really. He started in the 8th position, worked his way up to 3rd, going to try to get some stage points here late in the going.
We're coming around 1 lap to go here in stage number 1. And Santini, if he can just hold that top side, he might be golden. They are miles behind TJ Crampton. I say that. He's 1.6 seconds up the road from this battle. But up high is David Santini. Down low is the number 92 of Timothy Davis. Nearly coming together off of turn number 2, and down the back For the final time in this stage, Santini sends it in hard on the outside. Timothy Davis trying to roll that bottom. He's a little sideways there. And Santini, if he can make it out of the turn 4 wall, he will avoid that wall. It's second place in the stage for David Santini as TJ Crampton wins stage number 1.
Absolutely dominant performance from TJ Crampton to just steal the lead from Matt White like he did. And yeah, that's a good run for that car, and that's some well-needed points for that machine as well.
Absolutely. Again, TJ Crampton, I believe, was 6th in the points coming into today's race, and easily going to make up some ground in that department with a nice stage victory here at Atlanta. These drivers are going to work their way around and catch up to the safety vehicle. Then pit lane will be open, and we'll see the first round of pit stops for most of these drivers today. Take a look and see just how bad the 7 of Chuck Waldrop's car is, and that right front looks pretty beat up from his contact with the outside wall. Oh my goodness, that looks like a pancake on the right hand side.
Yeah, that's a lot of damage, and Chuck actually fell out of the top 10, so didn't really get a chance at stage points. Julio Villalobos actually got 10th, so not too sure what happened to Julio, but looks like he just kind of got ganged up on by everybody that was in that group.
Yeah, it was Crampton over Santini Davis. Kenny Meadows comes home 4th over Evan Longacre, Jeffrey Meyer, Matt White, Matthew Van Gelder, John Gifford, and Julio Villalobos V10 drivers to get stage points here in stage number 1. Pit lane is open, and everybody's coming for 4 fresh Goodyears.
Yeah, tires oh so crucial, and really here, what's most crucial is getting in your box cleanly. I've seen guys overshoot their box here specifically, and I've done it myself because I'm not the world's best pitter. Oh, TJ Crampton actually did overshoot his box, and I'm going to call it a curse because I was speaking about it, and well, we had our camera on him. So, unfortunately, TJ Crampton going to lose maybe 1 or 2 spots here on pit lane. Won't be too bad of a loss with how fast he threw it into reverse. Coming out of the pit lane now, he actually didn't lose a single spot on pit lane. That's impressive.
He will come out ahead of the 92 of Timothy Davis and the 96 of Kenny Meadows, I believe. The 79 of David Santini, he's on the pit lane fixing some right side damage. See, that is a pancake on the 79 as well. So that would explain why Santini is outside the top 10 for this restart.
Chuck Waldrop also getting that right side damage fixed on that car. TJ Crampton, though, what a dominant performance in stage 1.
Absolutely. I want to try to see if we can bring him on up to try to talk to our stage winner, TJ Crampton. Of course, and TJ stealing the lead away there in the middle of stage number 1 away from Matt White. Stage winner, TJ Crampton. And TJ, what a run early here. Is this, or how do you feel about it?
I feel pretty good. You know, car handles pretty good, to be honest. And once I got by White, just seemed like nothing could stop me. And hopefully it's more of the same. Clean air is pretty big, and so is the top side. I couldn't get around him on the bottom, so I just used the third lane. But other than that, I'm pretty excited and can't wait for stage 2 and end of the race.
So again, yeah, you talked about it a little bit there. The overtake, the actual overtake on Matt White looked very difficult to pull off, and it looked like it was more having to focus on the exit as opposed to the entry. But how did you really get it done, and what did you learn being behind Matt White?
You know, really, I was just doing my thing. I was just riding, saving my stuff, and once I got by him, I made sure I had a decent enough gap to start saving my stuff, and I saw Santini closing there, and then all of a sudden he was like 2.5 back. So I don't know what happened, but you know, I'm just doing my thing.
You think this is sustainable over the next, well, just under 100 laps or so?
I'm gonna say hopefully. All depends where Santini is. He's been absolutely dominant this season. So if I could stay away from him, we should be up here.
Right on. All right, driver, we're going to give you the floor. Whoever you got to shout out, whoever you got to thank for your stage 1 victory.
I got to thank my team owner, Matthew Van Gelder, and everyone for watching and you for broadcasting.
Absolutely. All right, TJ Crampton, we're going to leave you to it. Best luck to you in stage number 2 and the rest of the race. And hopefully we're talking to you on the far side.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
And of course, driver of the number 61 stage winner, TJ Crampton, absolutely stole the show away from what we thought was going to be Matt White's show. And here we go for stage number 2. We'll see if this follows through for TJ Crampton, but he's got a hard charging Timothy Davis, who charged late in that stage.
Well, I think he just gave Matt White a new nickname there, the Knight in White Armor. But yeah, TJ Crampton going to be leading us to this stage here. Next stage will be at the end of lap 70, so it'll be interesting to see what happens now as they come off of turn 4. Pace car is going to pull in. TJ Crampton will lead us with Timothy Davis is outside. Kenny Meadows in third, Evan Longacre fourth, and Jeffrey Meyer rounding out your top 5 as we go green for stage 2. Out of turn 2, TJ Crampton still with the lead. Kenny Meadows right behind him, about 2 to 3 car lengths back. And then Jeffrey Meyer taking over the third spot. But how about Evan Longacre, the points lead, coming up to 4th place?
Evan Longacre has been on a charge all race. He's looking to power his way by the 92 of Timothy Davis, though I think Davis has gone straight into his tire conservation efforts, because we saw it come to fruition very late there in stage number 1, looking to do the same here in stage 2. Longacre, though, he's been on a consistent charge. Does he have anything for the 50 of Jeffrey Meyer?
I don't know just so far if he does yet, but Evan's been slowly just driving through the field. You see the rapid-fired pizza machine. You actually mentioned that having a location in Kentucky. I'm going to have to find that here soon because it's making me hungry. But he's riding in the 4th position now, all the way from the 7th position on the starting grid. We talked about him falling back a little bit over that stage, but looks like he's going to the front this time.
Down the back, and look at the advantage TJ Crampton has opened. It's over a second advantage. Now it's over a second advantage over Kenny Meadows. Jeffrey Meyer now. Longacre takes up to the middle side of the racetrack, and most of the time that is an inviting sign for a driver, but here at Atlanta, it's almost a discouraging sign seeing a driver work that middle side.
Well, yeah, I think the middle line does have benefits here, though, because one, you're not turning the car as much, and the Xfinity car is already really, really tight, just naturally for whatever reason it is. But they do make it to where it's at least drivable, and you can really conserve some tire if you just don't wrap the white line. If you kind of run up a little bit, you kind of loosen the wheel grip you got. It'll actually conserve some tire over the run, so maybe that's what Jeffrey's thinking is. But we've seen a lot of guys just pretty much running the wall so far. You see TJ Crampton about a lane off the wall, kind of drifting up towards it in the middle of the corner. Just different guys. As you see, TJ way up the... He was way up the track that time. That's about the highest I've seen him off the corner. But everybody's kind of running just about a lane off the wall for the most part. A few guys trying the bottom. You see Timothy Davis making a move on Evan Longacre here for that 4th spot.
Timothy Davis working his way now around the inside of Evan Longacre, and he will get the pass complete. That is not what I expected. I expected Longacre to be able to hold station on that outside or that middle lane, and Timothy Davis to fall back and save some tires. But Timothy Davis is up here, and he's ready to play. He's decided track position is the name of the game. He'll power by 5th place driver and current point leader Evan Longacre. And Timothy Davis now, does he have anything for podium holder Kenny Meadows?
I don't know what what his plan is here so far, but it looks like he's really just trying to follow the guy in front of him, because he kind of followed what Kenny Meadows did there. You see he goes to the top now with Kenny. So it looks like a lot of these guys kind of run the top in the 1 and 2 corners and then go to the bottom in 3 and 4, and I don't know if that really aids any tire advantage. You see further back in the field, David Santini falling all the way back to the 8th spot. We did see him pit to fix some damage, so starting to come back up through the field, I assume. He's got Matthew Gelder right behind him and John Bender behind them. This is about a 4-car group coming off of turn 4, all fighting for that 8th spot.
Yeah, I wanted to mention that he restarted, I believe, 14th in the on that stage 1 restart, and he's already into the top 10, so looking to damage control some of the points he lost maybe from that pit stop. But he's only three spots back of point leader Evan Longacre, and I'd say that's really his goal, to be able to reclaim the point lead here. As 8th place David Santini, he's really quickly closing up on the 48 of Matt White, and we saw, oh no, that's wall for David Santini, and back in the wall. Oh, hold on to it.
Well, you were talking about the points, and I think that was the good old commentator's curse there, Emerson, because he pounded that wall with that number 79 machine. You see he's lost every bit of ground he just made up. He's now back to the 13th spot on the track and about to lose 14th to Richard Clement here. Talk about Richard starting dead last on the field. He's made his way up to 14th, so good job there, Richard. That number 32 Ford Mustang. Only 2 Mustangs in the field, and he's the lone survivor of the 2 right now.
It's nice to see that paint scheme, that livery back on the track. Very reminiscent of the Ryan Newman 39 at Stewart Haas Racing on the Cup side way back in the day. I say way back. It hasn't been that long, has it? But anyway, Richard Clement working his way to the inside here, and he'll file back in line behind the 79 of David Santini. Richard Clement scored as the 4, has the 32 on his car, so we'll mind that. But Richard Clement trying to work to the inside of Santini, can't get down there, but that will be 13th, and a positive gain in Richard Clement's endeavor.
Yeah, Richard Clement now going to the inside, going to try to make something work here. David might let him go, don't know. Richard's going to pull up even on the inside, though, as they head off of turn 2. Richard might get a bit of the run. Looks like Richard, I think I called it Richard was going to get the run, but I believe David got the run there because Richard got a little bit loose coming off of turn 2. And Richard going to work the middle line, and that's going to allow Chuck Waldrop, who we saw get some damage fixed earlier, come into this fray.
Yeah, back here, this is a very unfortunate, I guess, group of drivers today that have not had the best of runs. You have Alan Dobbs, of course, making the contact with Matt Dyer, Chuck Waldrop catching the wall, David Santini catching the wall. A lot of these drivers back here not having the best of days, as we are now less than 20 laps away from the stage break at the completion of lap 70, and Clement all over the rear end, or what's left of that rear end of the 79. It's got about 3/4 of the rear bumper down there, and it's loose is Clement. Here comes Chuck Waldrop. This is again the battle for the 13, and it's really spicy.
Settle down, boys. We're only going for 13th. Good lordy. That was all over the place for Richard Clement in that corner. Did a great job hanging on to that car. But I thought he was going to get into the back of David Santini there because that was very tight going to the corner. Just look through more cars in the field. That is John Gifford. Wow. Really messing up tonight. We got Evan Longacre, your points leader here, right behind Timothy Davis and Jeffrey Meyer, and there's a car in there somewhere. That's Kenny Meadows. Kenny Meadows starting to fall back just a little bit, it looks like.
Yeah, Kenny Meadows, he was, remember, on that 3rd spot, in that 3rd place. He's now dropped back off the podium. I don't know if this is an effort to save tires, maybe use this stuff up really early. This is pretty early to be dropping back if it is tires, though, but I don't know. Kenny Meadows has been floating around the top 5. This could be a conservation effort. Remember, we also saw Timothy Davis power his way by, or at least line up behind Kenny Meadows to try to overtake him. I believe that overtake has since been completed, and Timothy Davis has not really pulled away. So maybe this is Kenny Meadows taking it easy, trying to see what he can learn from Timothy Davis, who we saw come to life really late in stage number 1 and loose off of turn 2. There is the 96 of Kenny Meadows.
Kenny Meadows, I think maybe the strategy here is to kind of back off that pace because he's just, like you said, floated around the top 5 all day long. And we're only 55 laps into this race, so we're still fairly early into the event. Look, getting into the thick of it now, though. But yeah, Kenny Meadows kind of just chilling here behind Timothy Davis with Evan Longacre behind them. All cars numbered in the 90s, so that's kind of odd for the course because you never really see any numbers in the 90s, but look who's coming back to the inside of Evan Longacre here. It's going to be Matt White, your pole sitter. Gets that spot pretty quickly.
Matt White trying to clear his way into the top 5. He'll barely squeak in front of that 95, and he will. Then on Longacre now with the crossover and looking back to the inside into turn number 1. Matt White working the top side of that middle lane, and Longacre working the bottom side of the bottom lane. Matt White will hold on to the spot now. Look to open up his advantage over Longacre. Look to see if he can get into this battle for the 3rd position. TJ Crampton had his advantage at about 1.1 seconds. A couple of laps ago, brought it back up to 1.7. I was going to say, it looked like he either stalled out or had gained and lost, but Crampton gaining his advantage back, so no need to sound the alarm in the 61 camp. We carry on now with 13 laps to go in stage 2.
Yeah, and Jeffrey Meyer, not a guy we've talked a lot about. He's definitely been up front all night, though, but he is running 2nd right now. Like you said, 1.8 seconds back as TJ Crampton starts to stretch that lead. And I think TJ, he was all worried about David Santini coming up through the field. I don't think that's going to be a worry of his because he's just kind of scooting away on his own pace.
Absolutely, and of course we don't know what would be. Oh, we're about to go 3 wide here on the front straight with Davis. Matt White, Longacre thinks better of it. Timothy Davis way up the road, and he's about to lose 3 spots in one go. I believe he just did. Oh my goodness.
And if I'm Evan Longacre here, I need to protect that points lead, so I'd be very cautious with the moves I'm kind of putting myself in. That scenario right there can cost you dearly in regular season points, and that can cost you a playoff spot. Now, granted, they're so far ahead right now, I don't think they have to worry about that, but if you have a move like that happens and then you get to a bad stretch of races, that could be the determining factor of your championship chase.
Absolutely, and Longacre, again, I don't believe he's in any danger, but he doesn't have a win this season. He's not technically locked into the playoff hunt yet, and that is John Gifford, who just got loose at the top of your screen. He's losing the spot to Matthew Van Gelder and Julio Villalobos. Villalobos looking to the outside now of the 81, and a couple of truck guys there going at it, 8th and 9th. Villalobos, can he power around the 3-time winner in the Truck Series, John Gifford, to the line? He will have the advantage. Gifford holding station down low, though.
Yeah, John Gifford actually got a little bit of an advantage on Julio going into the corner, but they're going to come up about dead even. And, oh, John Gifford, look out. That got very close off of turn 2 there. And looks like Julio Villalobos is going to now take that spot. And you see Julio's driving a car that's kind of resembling of what you'd see in the Mexico Series. He is out of the Mexico region for iRacing, or the Mexico Club. And Julio driving that kind of peak Mexico Series inspired car to the front right now.
Absolutely love to see it. The number placement, it's I think refreshing to see a different number placement. Not necessarily the one we saw in last season's All-Star race on the Cup side, but actually on the rear quarter. That's again, different from what we're used to. Matt White, by the way, has just powered by Timothy Davis as well into the 4th position. Matt White is on a charge back. And this is interesting because he was the driver who pushed very early as the race leader, as the pole sitter, and lost the lead, I'd assume, to tires. So here he is now late in stage number 2, pushing forward, probably from saving tires. You live and you learn, I guess.
Yeah, I think Matt actually picked up on some things from the cars ahead of him, because you saw TJ Crampton just take it really easy to gain the spots he did. TJ Crampton actually was not the fastest car on track last lap. I believe that was Jeffrey Meyer who was. But yeah, you see Matt White coming through the field, a little loose off of 4, it looked like. But yeah, he's up to 4th now after falling, I think he fell back to about 6th or 7th on the end of the last stage in the last 5 laps. So we'll have to see where he falls in the last 5 laps of this stage.
This battle continues between Longacre and Davis. Whoa, and around goes Longacre. He'll hold on to it on the bottom side of the racetrack, but Longacre nearly losing that spot. And again, if you're thinking about the point standings, that was not maybe that wasn't the point to be pushing. Again, maybe a little loose. Now he's really heated up the tires. He's going to be under attack from Van Gelder and Villalobos. This is a rough situation for Evan Longacre.
Yeah, that definitely will not help him with points against David Santini. But David has had his own issues, so I don't think it's going to hurt too badly. And I think Evan can just kind of regroup here and get back going. As you see, got a 2-car battle behind him. Look at Julio Villalobos to the inside of Matthew Gelder. That is for the 7th spot. Julio is going to try to slide up in front of him, it looks like. Maybe we'll get the spot, and he does. So move Julio Villalobos up to the 7th position.
And Julio Villalobos looking to see if he can get into the 6th position before this stage is over. He smells maybe blood in the water from Evan Longacre. Things are tightened up in front now. Matt White under attack from Timothy Davis. So maybe Davis was the tire saving here in stage number 2. Once again, Matt White under attack. They're going at it for the 4th position. Matt White in the middle lane. Timothy Davis now washing up the track on exit, trying to get himself a run off the corner, though still side by side through the quad oval.
Both those cars looking a little bit twitchy going into the corner. Both drivers holding on very well. This track takes a lot of car control, and we've seen it tonight with Evan Longacre's half spin there. Doing a great job keeping that under control. Julio was all over the shop trying to hang on to his car during qualifying. And now you see Timothy Davis trying to get the 2-for-1 here. Going to go to the inside of Jeffrey Meyer for that 3rd spot as Kenny Meadows has taken over the 2nd spot, and we completely missed that one happen. So move Timothy Davis now up to the 3rd spot as we head into turn 1 here. Oh, he gets turned hard into the wall.
Oh, no.
And almost got our points leader, Jeffrey Meyer. I don't know. That might have just been a racing incident, but that was definitely a weird spot to have an incident like that.
Oh, no. That was such a great run that Timothy Davis was having. He was going to be able to throw it into the corner, potentially complete the pass. We'll have to see the replay and see exactly what happened, but very unfortunate for Timothy Davis. And that was a hard racing battle, as he said. We'll see what the actuality of the event is here off of turn number 4, though.
Yeah, you see Timothy Davis on the inside. Well, there we go. To the blunt cam we go, thanks to our buddies at Whiplash Simcams. Yeah, just I don't know how you want to call that, because me and you both drive on the service. Emerson, we've seen incidents like that. It looked kind of like they just kind of met in the middle. But Timothy Davis with the worst end of that deal.
Yeah, I don't really know what to make of it. Here we go once again, and I think this is the same view we just saw live, but yeah, they're competing for the same piece of real estate, essentially. And I mean, the 50 was pretty low on the track. He was going to enter on the high side, but he was also trying to potentially restrict the 92's entry into the corner, and they just both met.
I really think Jeffrey was going for a shorter line around that quad oval, because I mean, the car gets really light through there anyways, and we got a round of pit stops happening right now, but yeah, the car gets really light in that quad oval as you see TJ Cranton getting his service done, but I just think I think he cut it just a little bit too close, and the 92 slid up, and yeah, nothing you can really do there. And we can officially report that Matt Dyer is out of the race. He's 41 laps down out of the race, so that's 2 retirees, and Timothy Davis might try to get that car fixed and get back out there, but for the most part his night is done as well.
Well, this caution will bring an end to the stage, most likely. And again, TJ Crampton, the driver, to win stage number 2. Want to look around and see who we can talk to. And actually, let's bring up the driver most directly. Oh, on one side of that incident, Jeffrey Meyer having a good run there in stage number 2, and then coming together with you and Timothy Davis. What happened?
I just pinched me up in the wall. I had nowhere to go.
Fair enough. It was a really hard battle, all of you going at it. With 2 laps to go in the stage, you think it was more of a racing incident, or do you feel there was any sort of malintent behind it?
No, I don't think there was any malintent behind it. Just not giving the other guy any room. No.
I'd imagine the car isn't too healthy. Is there anything salvageable for this 50 car in this final stage?
Well, minute 20 damage. Got about 30 seconds left to repair, so we'll see.
Right on, Jeffrey. Again, you were having a great run up until that point. Is there anyone you'd like to shout out or like to thank for that running you had?
I got to thank Frontline Esports, Bruzy, Rayco Motorsports Setups. That should do it for now.
Right on. All right, we're going to leave you to it, Jeffrey. Best of luck to you in the rest of the running of this race. Unfortunate circumstances there at the end of stage number 2, but best of luck to you in the rest of the race.
All right, thanks.
Driver of the number 50, Jeffrey Meyer. And again, up there, they were both going at it for the 3rd position in the stage, and just unfortunate. But that was the first caution for incident today, and I mean, this caution was going to come out anyway for the 2nd stage in a couple laps. But what this does do is it extends this 3rd stage just a little bit.
Well, I think the luckiest man in that entire incident was Evan Longacre, because on the replay, if you saw very low on the bottom of the apron, he shot low, barely missed, I believe it was Timothy coming down the track, and our points leader been in some sticky situations tonight, but still tracking in the 4th spot currently, and he's now behind the top 3 to start. Well, I say top 3 now. We got 2 of the top 3 that was starting this race up front.
Yeah, right on. He is behind Matt White, who was on the pole, and Kenny Meadows, he's been running up here, and TJ Crampton, who's powered his way up here. And again, the race info today, 1 lead change. That was back on lap 20. That was when TJ Crampton took the lead from Matt White, and it's been TJ Crampton ever since. 2 cautions for 8 laps, 1 caution for the stage, the other caution for incident. That was going to come out anyway in a couple laps more time, but here we are. We're now on lap 72 of 136, and the iRacing.com safety vehicle will find its safety in the pit lane. We are racing once again from Atlanta.
TJ Crampton leading the field off of turn 2 here. Kenny Meadows to the outside of Matt White. Matt White really low on the racetrack entering the corner. That could hurt his tires, because we got a really long run here to the finish. We got about a 56, or actually, I don't know what math I'm doing, but it's a, I believe it's a 67 lap run to the finish, 66 lap run to the finish. I cannot word or math tonight. We are on the struggle bus, Emerson.
Yeah, we are somewhere. I think we're at 62 laps. You know, we'll let the map happen to the drivers until we can figure out. But tire is definitely going to be the name of the game for the rest of this race. Again, it's been very clean so far. The only caution we had was there at the end of stage 2. 2 drivers going at it very hard. I don't expect many more today, if at all. And you know, there's green flag pit stops also to potentially happen in this race. We'll see what happens. TJ Crampton opens up to an 8/10 of a second advantage over Kenny Meadows and point leader Evan Longacre. We're going to work our way around the Atlanta Motor Speedway quad oval, and it's Matt Knight and now Julio Villalobos into the top 5, trying to fend off Matthew Gelder.
Yeah, that's really the main battle on the racetrack now between 2 blue and white racing machines, both Toyota Camrys. About to add a navy blue and white machine into that fray. Look at Matt White all the way up against the wall. Oh, that's tight. That is tight off the corner. And yeah, if you're Julio there, that's really just a no-win situation for you, because you're kind of boxed in where you're at, so you have to run the wall right now.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, again, you can really save some tire up on that wall as well, but it's not preferred, especially on fresh tires. You really want to be able to get to that bottom side, cut away through the track as you can, take the shortest way around. The opportunities open up to go 3 wide here with Villalobos up the middle. He does not take it. I almost expected him to take it there between Matt White and Gelder. If he could have anyway, he will keep himself in front of John Gifford as Gelder looks to try to get to the inside of 4th place driver Matt White.
Yeah, some smart driving from Julio there. Could have forced it 3 wide, thought better of it. And that's some smart racing, especially when you're below that cut line. You need every point you can get. So he's probably thinking, hey, maybe if I just back off a little bit, this will help me in the long run for the championship, because we still got a ways to go before that playoff starts.
Oh, a little bit of contact there between Villalobos and Van Gelder. They sorted out a little bit, but Van Gelder is going to be on the losing side of it. I believe he was watching up the track, and Villalobos' car was there, and now he's going to get passed by John Gifford. Again, a couple of Truck Series regulars work their way 5th and 6th now. Gifford over Van Gelder. And then Truck Series regular Evan Longacre up in the second position. So the truck drivers showing some muscle here in the National Series. And this is now Villalobos on Matt White in the battle for second between Kenny Meadows and Evan Longacre.
Yeah, and I think Atlanta really translates for a lot of these guys, because you can be good at Atlanta in the truck and still be just as good here in an Xfinity car, and that's being shown today by some of the truck guys coming up through the field here. Evan Longacre all over Kenny Meadows, has been for the past few laps, could not get it there, but he's now going to work the middle line of the racetrack. We talked about the middle line being kind of a gray area territory there early on in the broadcast with tires, because tire management is so key, especially in this late race run, because we got 66 laps. I now finally got the correct math in my head about it. And yeah, you got to conserve those tires for so long, and I don't know if we'll actually have to pit for fuel, but I do not think we will have to.
Right, at this point, we're at 56 laps left in the race. It's going to be very close on fuel, but I think tires is the main concern. At this point, if you're really taking it easy on your tires, you may not even have to think about fuel, just because of how much pace drop off there's going to be. But here comes Villalobos on Matt White. This again for the fourth position. Villalobos down low, trying to get to that white line. Matt White high and handsome out of turn number 4.
Yeah, and Julio falling in line right behind Matt. Going to try to follow him, go a little bit higher. Whoa, Julio trying to rip the hot line on an asphalt track. That's a new one. It actually worked for him, because he's now getting a run down the back straightaway on Matt White. Going to look high. Can't get it there. Does not have the momentum to get there, but you see him all over the back bumper of that number 48 Camaro and just ripping the top of this racetrack.
I think Villalobos notices that there's just more speed, and it's essentially an easier line to run, depending on your tires say anyway. But Villalobos is trying to see if he can find his way maybe to the outside of Matt White. It's a tough call, and I mean it's not going to be easy if Matt White's running the wall, of course. But if Matt White does get a little too low on the entry of the corner and Villalobos is right there to take advantage of it, that could be something as well, as Villalobos could get off the throttle later and onto the gas earlier.
Yeah, that would definitely help him out. And Julio maybe just trying to conserve some tires here. You got John Gifford behind him, who we haven't really spoke about being in the top 10 today, but he's running 6th. Got company from Matthew Gelder to his inside now. And how about Kyle Mollering? We saw him spin on the very start of this race and worked all the way back up to 8th position.
Oh my goodness. If he's able to do the same thing that Vincent Arthur did last week and spin on lap number 1, go all the way to the back of the pack and still win this race, man, I don't know what I'll do. But Kyle Mollering, anyway, again, he started third, like you said, and then was on pit lane from the middle of the track on the initial start of the race. That was crazy. He's been absolutely steadily charging through the field. I believe he got stage points there in stage number 2, and he works his way to the outside of John Gifford. This for the 7th position if he can hang on.
Yeah, that the first stage caution really helped Kyle, because for the entire first stage he was just kind of moseying around in the about half a track behind our race leader, so that stage break really helping him. Now he's got the 7th position, now going to set his sights on Matthew Gelder for that 6th position. But he's making a little bit of a charge through here as we get a little voice crack action there. And Julio Villalobos trying to distance himself from Matthew Gelder and Kyle Mollering. But I don't know, those two cars are really fast right now at this stage in the race.
Yeah, there's a lot of cars that are fast right now. It's more who can sustain that speed, and we don't really know quite yet as well, because there's not that much age on the tires yet. I mean, there's been nearly 20 laps. Evan Longacre still going at it on Kenny Meadows, and they've got Matt White in tow. They've since pulled on Julio Villalobos, and we're getting close to that point where we're gonna see the people who pushed too hard too early start to fade. We're gonna notice it right away. We saw Matt White. It was probably the most obvious for Matt White in stage 1, and he kind of came back in stage number 2 to again beat that. We'll see in stage number 3, and again being the longest stage, I think everybody had to have tire saving in mind, and I don't know if really anybody's been pushing too hard, or if you've been pushing hard, you're planning on making a pit stop anyway. we'll see if maybe a one if one stopping the stage might be faster than just staying out there the entire time as well. That's a lot of time to make up, but you are going to be going faster for a good amount of time. I don't know.
Well, you talk about guys pushing really hard. One guy who has not had to push it all tonight, it seems like, TJ Crampton out front still by about a second and 2/10 there at the line. He's just kind of checked out from these guys, and he's like, hey guys, you can battle amongst yourself all you want. I'm just going to enjoy this clean air. And clean air is oh so key here with the expanding car at Atlanta, because if you get stuck in traffic, it can really pull a detriment, especially on those right front tires.
Absolutely, and he's loving it. He's just able to baby the car. He has no pressure. He doesn't have to push on corner exit. He can wait even longer to get back on the throttle and not be pushing towards the outside wall. It is an absolute Sunday drive for TJ Crampton, and I'll be very shocked if something on track happens to the 61.
Yeah, but on track right now, we got a battle between Evan Longacre and Kenny Meadows still raging on here. Evan tried the bottom there, couldn't get it done. Matt White now going to try to fill that top side. Can't get it done there, but Matt's now going to get the run. Going to be almost to the quarter panel, that number 95 off the corner. He might get the run. Going to get a little bit of a draft off of Kenny Meadows up in front of him. Say, hey, thanks, Kenny, for the draft. But still cannot get there, and Evan Longacre fitting a car where, well, it almost couldn't fit.
Man, oh man, this is so tight. I'm so glad these drivers have the spatial awareness of their machines. They are driving very smart, very hard, but very smart, very cleanly right now. Longacre using all the room and then some on Kenny Meadows, but not a single bit of contact. Kenny Meadows loose out of turn number 4. There goes Longacre. There goes Matt White. See you later. That's 2 spots down the drain for Kenny Meadows.
Yeah, we talk about the 2-for-1 often here in dirt racing. That's the reverse 2-for-1 when you finally lose the back end of that car. And that's more typical on asphalt, because sideways is not faster than straight on asphalt. And that was pure evidence of that right now, even with the worn out surface. Matt White closing in just a little bit on Evan Longacre, but can we just talk about the run that Evan Longacre has had in this race so far, because he was as low as 11th in that first stage.
Yeah, Evan Longacre has been on an absolute stellar performance today. Again, as low as 12th. He started 7th, and he's just there is a reason Evan Longacre is the point leader. He does have the pace to duke it out with these boys, and he's showing it right now. I don't know if he's got TJ Crampton pace, but he has cleared his way into second, and I could easily see this 95 pulling the gap. We'll see if he does that. Again, a lot of laps to go, and no need to be pushing right now unless he thinks he has a chance at TJ Crampton. And I'm sure he's going to give it a try, because this is the first time he's really had a clear shot at the race leader.
I was looking at the lap times here, Emerson, and TJ Crampton ran a 33.1 that last lap. Evan Longacre was at a 33.0, so he's making up that gap slowly but surely, and he's got plenty of laps to do it still.
Kyle Mollering and Julio Villalobos into the top 5 as we see Mollering making his charge right back up to the field here. He started 3rd. If he can get back to 3rd, what a remarkable job that is. To the outside, he looks at Villalobos. Villalobos holding the middle side. Mollering up high, trying to get to the outside of the 45, and he does so. And around and into 5th place goes Kyle Mollering.
Kyle Mollering, what a pass right there. That was a beautiful pass to the outside. That's how you do it here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Oh, Matt White looking a little bit loose through turn 4, but he's setting his sights now on Kenny Meadows and Matt White. And I would say look out for this 44 car, because it is on a charge and it is moving.
Absolutely. If you're not on the train now, you better get on, because he is coming through the field as he has all race long. He has his sights set on the rest, on 4th place Kenny Meadows and the rest of the podium. And TJ Crampton's advantage has lessened as well. It's now down to 1 second as Evan Longacre has been setting the pace up front. Well, not saying the pace, but outpacing TJ Crampton up front for now. And Crampton actually comes back with the faster lap that time around, so maybe Longacre pushing a little too hard to try to close that margin. We'll see. Maybe it's a little forward forward and backwards battle between fastest laps between the top two, because I saw it just switch between both of them.
We are within the last 40 laps of this race now, and you got to think about if these guys maybe do have to pit. I'm not too sure if we have to pit, but if we get a caution here late in the race, I know for sure these guys are going to want to come down to pit lane. You see Alan Dobbs actually on pit lane, so that's an interesting strategy call there. I don't know if that was scheduled or unscheduled, but the 22 machine now pulling off pit lane. Maybe he knows something we don't.
Well, this looks like a very clean 22. Of course, maybe a little scrapes down the right-hand side and maybe a little bit of damage on the left-hand side when you make contact with Matt Dyer. So this could be a strategy call to do a massive undercut. We'll see if it works. Again, it's a bold strategy, but I mean, he can get it done. He's the point leader on the truck side. He knows a bit about this sim. We'll see if it comes to fruition here at Atlanta. Alan Dobbs, I think, throwing the kitchen sink at this race.
Another guy kind of throwing the kitchen sink at it. Oh, Chuck Waldrop really loose to the trial. He's through the grass. Dude's a hazard stuff. They're going to hang on to it. Great job, Chuck, hanging on to that. He was the Duke boys in the grass there, and it's so fitting we're in Georgia for that.
What a catch from Chuck Waldrop, a fellow Texan. I'm a Texan. Chuck Waldrop there having the time of his life through the quad oval. Maybe not. Maybe he didn't want to be going through the quad oval, but I thought that was a fun ride, and what a catch. And Chuck Waldrop will carry on just outside the top 10 now, and down the pit lane is the 4 of Richard Clement. I'm sorry, the 95 of Evan Longacre.
Yeah, so pit stop's happening now, and I really think this is going to take us to the end pretty easily. Those guys might want an extra set of tires for later in the race if we get a late race yellow. But Evan Longacre taking 4 tires and fuel, as you do. He's off pit lane now. Now Matt White on the pit lane.
Yeah, we're going to see, I think once Longacre and Matt White have come down the pit lane, we're going to see most of the leaders decide to do the same, unless they feel their strategy is going to just prevail at the end. But we've got 35 laps to go, and there was about 66 laps left when we went green, or 64 when we went green in stage number 3. Splitting that in half will be 32, so this is maybe a short pit for most of the field. Expecting a 2-stopper. Richard Clement has gone around on the front straightaway, and he'll get back going. Or potentially he missed pit lane. Let's get a replay and see what happened. 2v4 of Richard Clement, and I believe it was a pit lane miss.
Yeah, the way that car was handling, I believe it was. You see him come down to pit lane a little bit too hot. Yep, just too hot, and goes to the grass, gasses it up, and he's like, "Yeah, we'll try it next lap." And now he's way on the apron trying to get in, so he's making sure he gets in this time. But Richard Clement going for a little bit of I guess he's mowing the grass there.
Yeah, he's just making sure it's all there. Having his run through the grass there. But Matthew Van Gelder there up in the 4th position, trying to see what he can make of this one. Julio Villalobos up the 3rd. I believe these drivers, either they're coming in a couple laps here or they're going to go long. Kyle Mullering has made his way down the pit lane.
Well, I'm a little bit stumped as to why TJ Cranston has not made his stop yet, because he's still way ahead. But with Evan Longacre making his stop, he is going to be gaining considerable time on TJ here.
We'll see right here. Evan Longacre's just going to blow right on by Kyle Mullering. And I know Evan Longacre was ahead of Mullering, but this margin is going to be massive. Mullering's still getting up to speed, and Longacre's already on the back straight.
Yeah, and that's the beauty of pit lane. If you can get on there really quickly, you can gain a lot of time. And we saw, well, we didn't get to see that during the Nork race, but at Subaru Speedways especially, that's where you can make or break your race. But here at Atlanta even, you can gain maybe a half a second on a guy just by how you enter pit lane.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's one of the trickier pit lanes on mile and a halves in a while. It's right off the banking there, off of turn number 4, and right off the corner exit. Matthew Van Gelder, Chris Hansen on the pit lane. Both of those drivers making their stops here. I'm assuming just splitting the stage in half. Sean Giroux coming in as well. And we still await race leader TJ Crampton and Kenny Meadows and Julio Villalobos and John Gifford. And I don't know what their plan is other than to maybe have massively fresher tires at the end of the race. but will it be enough to gain back the advantage that the drivers who just short pitted have?
Well, Sean Giroux's a guy we haven't really got to talk about tonight. Excuse me there. We see one car slow off the pace there. That's Jeffrey Meyer. But TJ Crampton, I have hiccups now. This is gonna be a detriment already, but I think TJ Crampton might be coming soon.
We'll have to see. We're going to get a replay here and see what happened to Jeffrey Meyer. And again, he, I don't know what happened here. I'd imagine I don't know. This could be him just calling it a day. Or running out of gas. No, he's picked up the pace again, so it's not out of fuel. Jeffrey Meyer just trying to stay out of everybody's way. But race leader TJ Crampton is in.
Yeah, TJ finally making that pit stop. Going to make it short, sweet, and simple. Get 4 tires and be away as soon as possible.
We'll catch up here with TJ Crampton, and he is already rolling from the pit box. And what this has done is it has given us the second lead change of the race. And it is Julio Villalobos, the driver, on the top spot right now. And letting it all hang out there in that number 45. He's got a 10-second advantage over John Gifford. And then John Binder, David Santini, Evan Longacre, the driver leading on this current strategy. He's up in the 5th position. Evan Longacre is, and we'll check in where TJ Crampton has come out. TJ Crampton on the far side of the turn. So about an entire turn advantage is what Evan Longacre has over who was the race leader, TJ Crampton. This is now the entire front straight length.
The only way I see this working out for TJ is really that he gained more laps of speed with how late he pitted, but he's looking a little loose right there. Wow, I got to figure out these problems. But Kyle Mollering right behind him, so that kind of gives you the difference of the benefits of pitting short and pitting late.
All right, actually, I believe, trying to see here, John Binder is leading on his strategy. He's made 3 pit stops this race, and Santini, and now TJ Crampton has gone fastest overall in the race. So it's the fastest lap of the race, but Kenny Meadows does so as well. Kenny Meadows, though, in the 10th position, a couple spots behind TJ Crampton. And now, race leader Julio Villalobos is in.
Julio going to get 4 tires and fuel as well, so we'll have to see where he cycles out. But Julio's done a good job to come through the field tonight, but Evan Longacre should cycle to the lead here pretty soon.
New race leader is John Gifford as we await strategies to play out here. Julio Villalobos is going to be outside the top 10 by the time he gets back out onto the racing surface. And actually, he's going to be 10th because there's only 10 cars on the lead lap right now because of John Gifford, if he can get out and stay on the lead lap. But Gifford working his way to the start-finish line now. He's got Van Gelder behind, who is he's 2 laps down. Van Gelder looks to have some serious problems on his stop. I believe Van Gelder had a penalty because he was in the box for 30 seconds or repaired damage. So we continue on. John Gifford, the race leader, over John Binder there in 2nd. David Santini in 3rd. And Evan Longacre now working his way here. This is Longacre on Santini. Evan Longacre into the 3rd position. He's got Matt White hot on his tail, though, looking for that 3rd position in the theoretical race lead. Matt White looking to the outside now, down the quad oval front straight, and he has that high side, and this might be the advantage Matt White needs. He's going to the outside of Evan Longacre, and Matt White to the theoretical race leader. At the moment, it is 3rd place in this race, and he's still trying to get his way clear of Evan Longacre. He does into the corner. John Gifford still leads, but the leader of the drivers who pitted, the theoretical leader, is Matt White.
And Matt White pitted later than Evan Longacre, so I think that's going to help him in the long run of this race because we only got about 23 laps left in this event. So Matt White provisionally is your race leader.
What a run from Matt White, and here we go. They're working their way past John Binder as well. John Binder is 6 seconds back of John Gifford, and Gifford, I believe, may be playing the fuel-saving game and trying to go as long as he can in that number 81 because you saw him drop straight away. And Matt White is cleared into the 2nd position as the theoretical leader of this race. We're still waiting John Gifford's pit stop. And here we go. Here, Santini has been passed by TJ Crampton. Crampton has really shown speed now. He can see Evan Longacre and Matt White just a couple cars up the road.
Yeah, that's the benefit of pitting later in this event. TJ Crampton just making a charge. Actually going to be passing Sean DeRoe there. To the inside goes to number 61. That might hurt the right front just a little bit, but if you make quick work of the lap car, it's no big deal. TJ Crampton now setting his sights on John Bender. Similar painted car as you see John Gifford on the pit lane finally. So cycle Matt White back to your race lead. We haven't seen him in the race lead for quite a while, but here he is back with just coming to 21 laps to go.
Well, if Matt White is able to hold on, imagine the full circle race this would have been for Matt White to start from the pole, lead the first 20 laps, lose it, and drop straight down the running order like a rock. And now comes back to the lead with 20 laps to go. But he's got Evan Longacre and TJ Crampton behind now. Longacre has lost touch with Matt White. And honestly, Matt White's best friend right now is Evan Longacre. If Longacre can put up a fight against TJ Crampton, that'll give more time to Matt White to try to hold on to what he's got. But here comes Crampton in the battle for second. He's just going to send it down to the inside. They're going to go side by side through turn 3, but Longacre powering on the outside. It's not going to be enough. TJ Crampton clears into the second position.
And if I'm Matt White, I am sweating right now. We kind of coined him the White Knight earlier by accident, but yeah, it's pretty much like the White Knight versus the Black Knight here, because TJ Crampton is on an absolute charge to kind of spoil the Cinderella story here.
19 laps to go this time by here in hot Atlanta. The gap is now under a second. TJ Crampton, I believe, has gained half a second this lap, and he's steadily gaining. He is still gaining on Matt White. This is going to happen almost any moment now, but will he be able to overtake him? Catching and passing are two different things. We saw the difficulty he had earlier, but this time with severely fresher tires.
And how hard does Matt White defend this? Because you know Matt White wants that win, because anybody would love to win at Atlanta, because this is one of NASCAR's best tracks on the schedule. It's a fan favorite of everybody's. That's why the surface is still as worn out as it is, because everybody loves the racing here. But Matt White gonna have to do some heavy defending to make TJ Crampton burn up his stuff here late in the go.
Here comes TJ Crampton looking to try to take that lead away. He's following Matt White up the track. White gets loose at the center of the corner, and that might be all she wrote. White catches the wall. TJ Crampton down low and clear to the race lead as TJ Crampton coming around to 17 laps to go.
TJ Crampton now just going to try to build that gap that he's been building all race long. You see him kind of pull about a car length off that corner alone, 2 car lengths at most, because he was already 2 car lengths going into the corner, and you just see him driving off in the distance as that 48 of Matt White gets smaller and smaller in the rear view.
What a drive from TJ Crampton. We didn't know if it was going to work out for him in its entirety, but it turns out it worked out for him with a lot of laps to spare. And now that we've gone pretty much through all the lead changes today, we've had a total of 5 lead changes so far. Anyway, we still have 16 laps to go here at the start-finish line for TJ Crampton, and only 2 cautions today for 8 laps, but again, 15 laps to go, and this can very well change. But let's see how the track has changed since it has cooled off big time. It's only dropped an entire degree in air temp, but it's dropped over 17 degrees Fahrenheit, the track temp.
Yeah, that's a substantial loss in heat for the track, especially here in Atlanta, because we started this race, I believe it was 119 at the max, and now we're down to 98 degrees, so that's about a 28 or 20 degree difference there alone, and that is just astonishing.
Absolutely. We come here and we'll see Kenny Meadows working his way up to the rear end of Kyle Mollering. This is the battle for 4th. And Kyle Mollering, is this the first time he's going to go backwards on the running order since lap 1? We'll have to see. Off of turn number 2, he holds on to 4th place for now. But again, Kenny Meadows right there, trying to see if he can snag away that 4th position.
Yeah, Kyle Mahler, you see on your screen there, he's actually running. Well, if I can ever find him, he's 4th place. But yeah, these two cars alone are kind of the only battle we have on track right now. We see the slow start Sean Giroux way up the track here with John Gifford. So these two trying to track down 2 lap cars right now. But I think Kyle Mullering, despite what result he actually ends up with, I think a top 5 is going to be just a beautiful day for him, because we saw in the start that car just hook, line, and sink towards the pit wall. Every crew guy had to scatter because that car was coming in a hurry, and to drive back through the field to even be top 5 is pretty impressive.
Absolutely, and here comes Kenny Meadows, though. This for 4th. Meadows down low. Mullering holding station up high. Meadows trying to clear, but he's not clear yet. Is he clear now? Off of turn number 2, he is. Mullering nearly in the wall, but it is Kenny Meadows cleared into the 4th position, and he will now set his sights on point leader Evan Longacre to see what he can do for a podium. Here we go. Julio Villalobos works his way past David Santini. Villalobos again pitted very late. We're going to see Villalobos make a late charge here. How high will he get up that running order?
David Santini, I believe on pit strategy, has made a semi-solid recovery. Not as probably ideal as you would like, as Evan Longacre is currently 3rd, so that's your points battle for the lead right now. But David Santini trying to just get what he can out of this race. We got about 11 laps to go, so if he can just hold on to a top 10, I think he'll call that a good day. It won't hurt him as bad in the points as it would have earlier in the race when Evan was running about 3rd or 4th, and David was all the way back to, I believe, 14th was his lowest. Oh, 16th was the lowest for that machine. But yeah, this is definitely an improvement from where he was at the mid-stage of the race.
Well, this is a battle for position right here. If he can work his way past John Binder, this is the 8th position. He's cleared Binder, now up to 8th. He's not going to get Villalobos. Villalobos is on severely fresher tires, but if Villalobos can maybe get to Alan Dobbs and make something happen there, then that opens up a potential other spot for David Santini. Right on board with Villalobos here. He's got a long distance to Alan Dobbs. I don't know if he's going to catch that in 11 laps.
You see some right front damage to that car as well. I don't know when that happened, but Julio's been doing a pretty good job to keep the fenders on it all night long, so I'm kind of surprised to even see a paint scrape on the right side of that car.
Yeah, that potentially might have been him on fresh tires or cold tires making a mistake. Not entirely sure what went on for Villalobos, but he's still looking for a decent run here. 7th place, and again, a truck series driver coming up and running the national series, and he is not doing too shabby one bit as a full-time trucker.
Well, talking about different drivers, I just want to retcon myself here because I didn't know what TJ Crampton was doing when he was staying out so late, but my guy's got a 4.9 second gap to the car in 2nd place. So apparently TJ Crampton knows something I don't, and I need to learn from this guy for future Nork races, but TJ Crampton is just scooting away.
It's phenomenal, the job that TJ Crampton's done today to absolutely dominate this race. And so far, led 96 laps. He's going to look to go well over 100 laps tonight. And again, only been as low as 8th, and I'd imagine that's probably just pit cycles. And again, he started 6th, and he's taken off ever since the drop of the green flag. TJ Crampton has done a phenomenal job here tonight.
Yeah, that gap now 5.5 seconds, and that's in about a lap and a half there, I think, from when I last reported what the gap was. So he is just gone from everybody. He's lapped up to 12th position. That's John Gifford, your first car a lap down. So if a yellow was to come out, he'd get the lucky dog, get back on the lead lap. Oh, as he catches the wall, actually. So commentator's curse there, I guess. We've had a lot of those tonight, unfortunately. But
it's been a rough one for us.
Yeah. Boy, you don't want us talking together because we will curse everybody if we have to. Matt White, though, how about this recovery? Because Matt White really burned up his stuff in that first stage, fell all the way back. You see he's been as low as 14th tonight, but in that first stage, I believe he dropped back to about the 6th position. So he's worked his way all the way back up to 2nd. So a good job on Matt White just to get some points out of the night and salvage a really solid run.
Absolutely, and point leader Evan Longacre again started 7th and as low as 15th, but has been floating around the top 5 ever since he's got up here. He has done a great job of that, and maintaining his point lead, extending his point lead by the time the night is over. If he can hold on to what he's got, big moment of looseness there. He is ahead of Kenny Meadows, who is charging. We saw Kenny Meadows charge past Kyle Mollering. We'll see if Meadows can snag a podium spot here before this one's over. 5 laps to go, coming around to 4 laps to go, and Longacre's in the wall.
Evan Longacre, you got to think he's maybe overdriving the car now to just overcompensate for what tires he has, because this is the late stages of the race. Everybody's going to be fighting for every spot. Evan's really close to the outside wall, almost running the Larson line against it, but he's trying everything he can to keep Kenny Meadows behind him and try to keep it in numerical order of where they finish here, because you get the 95 in front of the 96. But Kenny's all over him, and I think Kenny's got the fresher tires in this situation, but Evan's only got 4 laps to hold him off.
Absolutely, and if he can stay on that outside lane without hitting that outside wall, Longacre could still be in this 3rd position by the time this one's over. And Matt White is blinking out of the session. He's got to stay in the session to stay in 2nd here. See him right up the road trying to stay connected to the session to just bring it home. I believe he would just be screaming, please let me finish this race. He's right there in 2nd. He's had a great run today and trying to hold on to what he's got, but he also could be food for thought for Kenny Meadows if things can happen quick enough with Evan Longacre.
Yeah, and I've seen that firsthand. I saw it this week, actually, the situation Matt White had. Spencer Ray in the IORL league that we cover from time to time on this channel. He blinked out with 3 laps to go in this week's race at Gateway, so unfortunate for Spencer there, but it was a blessing in disguise for myself. But yeah, you definitely do not want any problems to happen to your computer or your internet or any software or hardware that may be surrounded to your iRacing endeavors. And you see Evan Longacre getting very, very loose there on the top of Kenny Meadows.
And Kenny Meadows sideways into turn number 3, slideways into turn number 3, trying to hold on to it as we take the white flag presented by Tucson Sound Art and the TJ Crampton. Again, phenomenal job he's done today. He's led well over 100 laps and is now just half a lap away from bringing it home. We'll catch up with that battle for 3rd right after we watch TJ Crampton work his way through turns 3 and 4 for the final time. And off of turn number 4, he'll just keep it nice and low, keep it out of that outside barrier. He'll catch up to John Binder, but he will win here at Atlanta. TJ Crampton dominated today.
And a beautiful sweep as well. Matt White, 2nd place. 3rd place going to go to your points leader, Evan Longacre. Kenny Meadows, 4th. Kyle Mollering is going to come home 5th. Add up boy to Kyle for keeping a top 5 there. Alan Dobbs going to get 6th, and I believe Julio Villalobos will get the 6th or the 7th position. Sorry, I got out of line here. Alan Dobbs is your 6th position. David Santini came back to get 8th after that problem he had early on in the race. Chris Hansen 9th, and Chuck Waldrop's going to round out your top 10 for this one.
And there was only 11 cars on the lead lap right there. John Binder was 11th, about to go 1 lap down, and TJ Crampton, I mean, with that pace he was setting, it's honestly shocking he didn't lap more of the field. An 8-second advantage at the end of this race is phenomenal, and he very deservingly gets to do donuts and burnouts on the front straightaway. And I love the long burnouts. If these drivers can pull it off, please do, because it is quite the show. And there he is. He's gonna take his. This is gonna be a Polish victory lap or more donuts. More donuts or TJ Crampton. Burn them down, man.
Yeah, a lot of guys can't pull off that long burnout. I know I can. I just don't win enough to actually pull one off. But TJ Crampton just burning it down here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Gonna make sure those tires are a little extra crispy for Hot Atlanta themselves.
Well, we're gonna step aside. Don't you go away. We'll be right back with post-race coverage here from the MSRA National Series, round number 18 here at Hot Atlanta. Don't go anywhere. Post-race coverage, post-race interviews on the far side of this break.
Have you found yourself trying to hide your joy because you're unhappy with your teeth? Your smile is the first feature noticed in an interview, on a date, or in family photos. We want you to be able to shine bright as your best self, and our teeth whitening system is the perfect step toward restoring your confidence.
Sound art is a product that is a speaker and it's art. We combine it together and we call it sound art. What makes it so unique that any picture can be your speaker? Sound art gives you the high quality sound without the ugly speaker. This isn't a picture with a speaker, the picture is the speaker. Just imagine your wedding picture uploaded onto a canvas and now it's speaking 10,000 tunes. I mean, it's a very cool concept. What we like so much about it that you can take anything that means something very special to you, upload it on the canvas, have it hanging up in your room, your balcony, wherever you want to put it, and now it's a speaker. I mean, how cool is that? It's something that we have that and no one has. No one has this product. It's just a great gift to give anybody. It's just a neat concept. Around here we say, art never sounded so good.
After months of quarantine, we're all interested in how we can become our best self. The team at Permanent Makeup and Cryo is here to help you get the flawless makeup look every day without the extra effort or time. When it comes to your appearance, you deserve the best care that money can buy.
Sound art introduces an entirely new way to listen to music in your home. By combining the best of two products, a revolutionary high-fidelity, low-profile Bluetooth wireless speaker with beautiful artwork. Select from a library of artwork or upload your own photos to personalize your experience. Sound art ushers in an era of invisible, beautiful, and amazing sound throughout your home and redefines your entire entertainment system. The need to reclaim your floor space and rid your home of unsightly speaker boxes that need to be bolted to the wall is now a thing of the past. Our canvas is printed on high-quality permalite by Breathing Color. And select from our gallery or upload your own. Standard sizes include 16 by 20 and 18 by 24 canvas wrapped. Custom sizing is available, as well as surround sound options.
Welcome back, race fans, to the virtual Atlanta Motor Speedway, and out in Hampton, Georgia. We're now into post-race coverage of the MSRA 33rd Brigade Gaming Community 204 here at Atlanta, and it was a phenomenal race and a phenomenal show that TJ Crampton put on tonight. And TJ Crampton, again, just absolutely dominated. After Matt White started on the pole, this driver went on to lead well over 100 laps tonight. TJ, that view out in front, did it ever get old?
It didn't get old, but it was certainly hard as heck to drive this thing. Atlanta is just such a tough track to drive, but it didn't get old, but it was certainly hard.
Absolutely. TJ, 104 laps. Did you fathom that happening tonight when you logged in and you signed up for the session?
No, to be honest, David's been kicking my butt the past few weeks, and I've been having some bad luck myself anyway, finishing poorly in a few races, but I just came in with the goal of top 10, top 5, and just complete all the laps, don't have anything happen to me, and made a few adjustments in practice and before the race, and this car was just on rails all night.
Absolutely. The plan there on that, the only green flag pit stops of the night there to go long, was that always the plan, or what made you maybe lean one way or the other on green flag pit stops?
Well, my teammate, team owner, and was just telling me that we only had to save 2 laps of fuel, so I tried to lift it early, and I couldn't save anything. So I was just the only reason why I stayed out late is because if everyone else stayed out, I was going to stay out, and if everyone else pitted, so I just pitted because I couldn't save. But if everyone did stay out, I was just going to try to save even harder. But I don't think that would have worked out anyway, because I'm not a very good fuel saver. So I'm glad it did the way it went with the pit stop during the green flag run.
Fair enough. Now, a very dominant performance today here at Atlanta. Next Friday night, y'all are at New Hampshire, the Magic Mile. What do you make of that place? What do you think you can do there?
Considering last year, I raced there last year in this series, and I think I crashed at least 15 times. I'm not excited for that track, but I am going to put on the best show I can for that track. Going to have to learn some things for there and do a lot of practice, because that track is certainly way down on the list of my favorite and how good I perform there.
Well, we'll let you get after it then. Once again, congratulations on the very dominant performance here tonight at Atlanta. Once again, the floor is yours to shout out whoever got a shout out. Thank you, whoever got to thank. TJ, it was a great performance.
Yeah, thank you guys. First off, thank you guys for broadcasting. Haven't had a broadcast since, I think we had a few broadcasts off and on, and now it's seems like every week. So thank you guys, and gotta thank my team owner, my teammate, setup builder, Matthew Van Gelder. He's absolutely amazing. I gotta thank all the league sponsors: Rapid Fire Pizza, Old School Ninjas, and of course Shorbas Racing Graphics.
Absolutely. All right, TJ, we're gonna leave you to it. Best luck to you next week at New Hampshire. Hopefully we'll talk to you then. Best luck to you there and the rest of your season. And yeah, congratulations once again on the dominating performance.
Yeah, thank you guys.
That is driver of the number 61, the race winner, TJ Crampton. Again, led 104 laps, and he pretty much led all those laps from the time he took the lead from this next driver who was standing by with Cole Freilich.
Yeah, the second driver to lead tonight, and I guess he would have led the second most laps of the field. Matt White, was there anything you really could have done there for TJ to even try to close back that gap?
I tried short fitting on him, and he just had a better set. I worked on that yesterday and today, and I mean, it was just, he had that thing dialed in crazy good. I was so loose at the end there, I couldn't do nothing for him.
Well, I could tell that car was kind of loose, and TJ was telling us that it was hard to drive. How was it from your standpoint? How was the handling?
Handling was pretty good. Typical Atlanta, you know, this old asphalt here last time we're doing it. But, you know, if you did tear your tires, it treated you pretty good. If you burned them up real early, I mean, it was just a handful. And I burned them up real good on that first run. And I mean, I fell back to 6th or 7th. So it really depended on how you drove the track.
Well, that is very true. And with heading into New Hampshire next week, what's going to be the game plan for you when we go there?
Pole to win is my goal. That's what I try to do there, is pole to win. It's a good track for me, so I'm going to get some testing in this week and see where we can put it.
All right, well, sounds like a short, sweet, and simple plan. Hopefully it works out for you. Before we let you get out of here, though, who do you got to thank for your run tonight?
I thank Rapid Fire Pizza for coming on board, Old School Ninjas, and Shorbas Racing Graphics. Also want to thank 33rd Brigade Gaming Community for hosting tonight's race. Really good that they do that for us so we can have broadcast and have a good show. So just want to thank those guys.
All right. Well, we appreciate you joining us up here in the booth, Matt, and we'll get back to let you get back to your night and enjoy the rest of the night.
Thanks, Coach Cole. I appreciate it.
That was the second place driver, Matt White. And I think, Emerson, you're going to have our third place driver and points leader still, Evan Longacre.
Absolutely. And Evan Longacre, he had a lot of speed today. Didn't get up to the top spot tonight to show that speed. But as far as a points leader and a very highly contested points battle, a very good points day once again, outpointing David Santini. Evan, what do you make it tonight?
Tonight was a lot of fun. Put in some work on the car. Had a pretty good setup underneath of me. Tough track to really nail something down. There's so many different grooves that you can run. Cars come and go throughout a run. You know, track started out real hot, cooled down a lot. No, it's tonight was a good night overall. I'm pretty pleased with, you know, where I finished. Finished with 0x, so that's always a good thing. Had some fun racing with some guys, had some good battles, did well in both stages, and then, you know, got some good overall points, so really cannot complain.
Absolutely, and holding on to that top spot and extending that point lead over Santini. Again, I think the most important factors tonight. There at the end, though, the battle for third really heated up. Kenny Meadows was really giving it to you. How were you able to hold him off, and what did you make of that battle?
Oh, it was fun. I knew Kenny was going to race me clean. Kenny and I have always run each other clean. The issues. So, I was pretty confident, that we could both go at it pretty hard. We weren't going to have any problems. I think I pitted a few laps before he did, so my tires were a little bit worn out. I just tried to stay up top, carry the momentum up out of the corners, because even though he's on fresher tires than me, he still had however many laps on him, so I knew down on the bottom he was screaming for life, So just wanted to carry the momentum up top and just not let him clear me getting into the corners so that I could keep the momentum up top. Earlier in the race, we had the exact opposite situation. I was behind him, and I felt like I maybe had a little more speed, but, I just couldn't get around him because he protected the top. But overall, ton of fun racing him like that, and it's exciting racing for the final spot on the podium. So always have a good time doing that. So really fun battle with Kenny there.
Absolutely. All right, next Friday night, y'all are at the Magic Mile, the New Hampshire Motor Speedway. What do you make of that place? How do you feel about your chances next week?
Well, next week it'll be the third time I've been at that track in this league. That's where I guess I made my debut in 2019 at that track. I think I ran and finished like junk there because it was my first time ever running an open setup race in the Xfinity car. But I'm looking forward to it just for that. It's neat that, there's so many guys still left that have been running since then. So that race always kind of, pops up, or really kind of stands out on the schedule for me because that's where I started running here in 2019. Really tough track, really. I swear the inside two grooves are off camber almost, and you have no banking around the rest of the track, and you just have to get in a groove, and if you get out of that groove, that's whenever you're going to start losing spots and dropping spots, and it gets real tight down on the bottom trying to pass people, and it's just as hard to try and hold off somebody up top. So unique track, gonna be fun. Actually really looking forward to it.
Right on. All right, Evan. Well, once again, a great night for you in terms of the points lead. Who do you got to shout out? Who you got to thank for the podium and the points night?
I gotta thank Rapid Pizza. They sponsored the league and sponsor the car here. So gotta thank them. I gotta thank Jacob Shorba, Shorba's Racing Graphics. He put the paint on the car. Does all the paints for our team. Gotta thank Old School Ninjas. They sponsor the league. David Santini's the one that sponsors with them. So gotta thank him for that one. And then tonight, I've really got to thank the 33rd Brigade Gaming Community, John Gifford, for stepping up and putting some money towards sponsoring the race tonight to be the title sponsor of tonight's race here. So that, always cool to have someone new come along and pitch in towards the broadcast. Got to thank our team at Great Lakes Motorsports. Bunch of cool guys over there. Always run the paint with the stripe over on the left side of the car. So got to thank all those dudes over there, and been running some laps with Jeffrey Meyer. He's always been, a good person to run laps with. David Santini and OSN Racing, kind of work with him a little bit here and there, or put up practice sessions with him. So, and thanks to you guys for, taking the time out of your evenings to put on these broadcasts. So all of our friends and family can watch the broadcast. I think that adds a good bit of value to the league. It's always fun to go back and check it out. And, thanks to any friends and family that are out there watching. I think my dad's watching, so hey, Dad.
Right on. Well, Evan, once again, congratulations on the third place finish tonight and extending the point lead as well. Best of luck to you next Friday night out in New Hampshire, and hopefully we're talking to you then.
Absolutely. Maybe hopefully you'll be talking to me first. So that's the goal. I'll see you guys.
Right on. I'd like to hear it. And again, that is driver of the number 95 and third place finisher tonight, Evan Longacre. And Cole, what a great night it was. I mean, TJ Crampton absolutely dominated tonight, but the amazing racing we had tonight from Atlanta, I was not really sure what to expect, but these drivers, they made a great show out of this great racetrack.
Yeah, it seemed like once everybody got into a rhythm, everything kind of settled down. We had some great battles on the track all throughout the top 10 and even outside of the top 10. So I think that's what the beauty of Atlanta is, especially in open setup racing. You can just kind of have it to where it's even playing around for everybody. And Atlanta's always a wild card. You never know who's going to win. TJ Crampton just absolutely stole the show tonight.
Absolutely, and he stole that show away from second place finisher Matt White. Then we look on the rest of the top 10 with Evan Longacre coming home in third, Kenny Meadows in fourth, Kyle Mollering after spinning out off the initial start, spinning before he even started the race and was on pit lane perpendicular to the racing surface. He will finish fifth in this race over truck point leader Alan Dobbs. Julio Villalobos in seventh. I said he was a full-time truck driver. That is incorrect. He's a full-time driver in this series. He's a sub driver in the truck series. So Julio Villalobos, full-timer there in the 7th position over second place in points and 5-time winner this season David Santini in 8th. Chris Hansen comes home in 9th, and Chuck Waldrop there in 10th. Cole?
In 11th place is going to be John Bender with John Gifford in the 12th spot. Sean Giroux is going to be in 13th. Matthew Van Gelder will be 14th. Richard Clement comes home in 15th. Jeffrey Meyer, unfortunately, after the accident with Timothy Davis. Those two cars going to round out 16th and 17th. Matt Dyer, we saw him basically go into the shrubbery. I know Corey Rexford was laughing at me for using that term earlier, but yeah, he's going to come up 18th. And then Chandler Hayden, who had the just really random software issue, will round out your field in 19th for tonight's event from Atlanta.
Yeah, that was something unfortunate for Chandler Hayden there in the 19th position, and he only got to run about 15 laps in this event before his software decided that that was the end of the night for him. Of course, these broadcasts are not able to be put on without the amazing partners here at PitStop TV and those like Tucson Sound Art, Your Picture, Your Music. Use promo code PitStop TV at checkout for 10% off of your wall-mounted sound art device today. They're presented by Race Pace Setups. Pick up pace with Race Pace, a community-driven setup shop and driver development program. Broadcast presented by Permanent Makeup in Maine. You deserve the best care that money can buy. By Whiplash Media, the official graphic and camera provider of PitStop TV, and by BAM Racing Videos. By a race fan for the racing community. And of course, all of our partners here at PitStop TV, they make things go around and they make things happen for us. But of course, you have to thank the partners here at the MSRA National Series, and of course, like Rapid Fired Pizza. They offer amazingly good, amazingly fast, fresh made pizza, and it's what we can do in 180 seconds. You can try one of our craft pizzas or choose from over 35 fresh toppings and a dozen different sauces to create your own masterpiece. You can visit your own Rapid Fired Pizza in the states of Indiana, Kentucky, North Carolina, Ohio, South Carolina, Texas, and West Virginia. Check out our website at rapidfiredpizza.com. Old School Ninjas is a gaming organization that focuses on building a community with close friends. We welcome new individuals to the group with a red carpet and a seat at the round table. Feel free to check out our Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Discord. We await your arrival. Shorebuzz Racing Graphics offers great services at affordable prices. SRG does work with iRacing paints, logos, numbers, and even t-shirts. $5 from each sale are donated to the Midwest Sim Racing Association for their end-of-season prizes as a way of giving back to the community. Visit Shorebuzz Racing Graphics on Facebook to find out more. And of course, 33rd Brigade Gaming Community, the title sponsor for tonight's race, is a gaming community that has been bringing like-minded gamers together since 2007. It's more than just a community, it's an online family devoted to their fair play and providing a judgment-free gaming experience. Find our Facebook group, the official 33rd Brigade Clan, for more info. And of course, 33rd Brigade stepping up to be the title sponsor for tonight's race to help make this broadcast happen for the MSRA National Series, and it was a great show. Very thankful for the 33rd Brigade gaming community to step up and make things happen tonight. The channel will stay active weekly. We have broadcasts coming up next week. Another full slate of races. Actually, well, not a full slate, but we have 4 broadcasts next week. And here's the next 3. Of course, Monday night will be the BRP Pro Dirt Late Model Season 2 season finale at the dirt track at Charlotte. Andrew and Joe will be bringing you all the action there. And Cole, would you like to tell us about what's coming up on Tuesday night?
Well, Tuesday night, me and the group of Norkers are going to take it all the way to Virginia at the Martinsville Speedway. That's going to be an interesting race. Short track tempers will definitely be flaring because us Nork boys haven't had cautions all season unless it's a short track. So you're definitely in for some tempers being flaring there, and I think it'll be fun. That'll start at 6:40 Eastern on Tuesday night. And I guess we can go into Wednesday too because the Outlaw Sim Series will go to Rockingham, the now abandoned racetrack. I guess they're trying to get it back going. Rockingham is always a great track, and that'll start at 7:30 p.m. Eastern on Wednesday.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, the Outlaw Sim Series, a series I'm so excited that it's made its way over to PitStop TV. We had our exhibition preseason opener, the Clash, and then we had the points race this past Wednesday night at Daytona. And now we're getting into the meat and potatoes of the regular schedule, and race number 2 at the Rock. I couldn't think of a better second race of the season. I cannot wait to see what those open setup trucks do. When we get to a track like Rockingham, it's going to be a blast there. But of course, you can keep up with all the information regarding our upcoming broadcasts and also the MSRA Truck Series and the National Series. You can check us out at facebook.com/PitStop TV. We have an Instagram, of course, relatively new. You can check us out at pit_stop_TV on Instagram. Our Twitter at PitStopTV_. We have a Twitch channel at twitch.tv/pit_stop_TV. And of course, check out our YouTube channel at youtube.com/PitStopTV1. Well, for all of us at PitStop TV, Cole Fralick alongside me this evening on commentary. Corey Rexford rocking the social media coverage tonight. I am Emerson Arden. You all have a great night. Y'all stay cool. Y'all stay safe. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.